The minute you kind of step foot into it, because we shoot in an actual school, the minute you step foot into that high school, the dynamic of all the actors, like we're all good friends, it really does feel like high school to a certain degree.
Welcome to Airing Your Dirty Laundry.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. I've had a chaotic morning, but I feel like most mornings are chaotic.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm good.
I wanted to start out by asking, what are you loving at the moment? What is it that's like, can be anything. It doesn't have to be a show or a music or anything. Just what are you loving the most?
I'm really, I don't know if this counts, but I'm really loving journaling. Does that count?
Yeah, totally counts.
I've just started journaling and it's like the best little treat to myself. I never used to be the type of person to like do that kind of stuff.
It's so cool. I only just started journaling this year, and it's psycho how you write down anything and all of a sudden these thoughts sort of come out and leak onto the page that you didn't even really know existed in your brains.
You know what? When I journal, I'm like, wow, I'm smarter than I thought I was. There's more information in there than I thought. For real, I discover so much about myself by journaling and just like letting myself be unfiltered about it, because I feel like a lot of the time with songwriting, it's like whether you like it or not, you're being at some level, consciously or not, you're being intentional about it. Like this might be heard by someone, this might, be perceived. And I think that has a really unfortunate effect on like the output and what you choose to put on paper. And I think the beauty about journaling is that it's literally just for me, and I'll never put it anywhere. And I think there's a lot of, there's a lot of joy in
It'll be interesting to see if you have like moments through journaling that you want to then share as well.
I mean, I was listening to a Gracie Abrams podcast recently, and she was saying that she takes her journal entries and puts them into songs. And I'm yet to cross that threshold. Yeah. But I would be curious. I'm about to go to London to do some writing, so I might like take my journal.
Totally. Little thoughts here and there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You started, like, your background is in musical theatre, right?
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Very random, yes.
Yeah. I'm really curious as to like, well, obviously it's music and acting is musical theatre. Is there one sort of element that you love more than the other?
With acting and music, I don't know. I used to be like, music is definitely more my thing. It's like, I feel like I connect to it more and it feels more introspective, and I feel like I've got more autonomy, because I guess acting is interpretive, like you're interpreting someone else's text and like you're trying to do that justice. And like, I feel like as an actor, my primary like responsibility is like, I think there's this common misconception that, and I'm going to get roasted for this, I think, by a lot of actors, but I think there's a common misconception with acting that you're an artist. And like, I actually don't see acting that way. I don't see acting as you being the creator yourself. I see it as like your primary responsibility is to like do justice to whatever came out of that writer's head.
Totally.
And to understand what they were trying to say and bring it to life that way. So I like music in the way that you've got autonomy, but on the different side of the same coin, I love acting because it alleviates the pressure to put myself into something. Yeah. So I think they both work really symbiotically together to like kind of, I don't know, keep
It's nice as well, like if you've kind of got one and you're getting like, I mean, with anything creative, with any sort of work, you find elements of frustration. So like if you're in a place of music where you kind of like feel like maybe you're hitting a roadblock, you can then turn to acting and have that outlet in that way, which I would imagine would be quite lovely.
Literally, I feel like one is like more emotionally exhausting. I mean, no, that's a lie. They're different. They're exhausting in different ways. And I think when you hit your threshold with like one of them, it's nice to jump to the other.
Totally, I get that. If you could be in any musical theatre production, what would it be?
Hadestown, which is coming, and I really wanted to audition for it because my dream role is Eurydice, but it's just, I just don't like doing it.
I'm not familiar with this production. What is it?
Okay, it's a musical called Hadestown, and it's like a folk musical.
Okay.
And it's just amazing. It's about like it's all based in like Greek mythology and like.
Oh, I was going to say that Hades is in like underworld. Yeah, right. Okay.
And so anyway, I won't give away. I mean, I guess the plot is given away because it's like an old myth, but
Yeah.
it's just pretty much a love story between Eurydice and Orpheus, and they go, and Hades, and it's just amazing.
Oh my gosh.
It's such a good.
You'll go see it when it's here.
Yes, and I'll be really sad because I've always wanted to play that role, but I just feel like at this point in my career, I was like, I can't take 6 months to do a musical.
Totally. Did you get offered like to audition?
No, well, yeah, I got offered to audition.
Yeah.
I definitely would have loved to audition, but I guess it's just probably not the right time right now, which sucks. I hope it comes back when I'm a bit older.
Yeah, they will. Everything comes around. It's fine. I can see it. So your new single, Blame Me, has just come out. It's epic. It's really cool. I was looking at the lyrics, and I'm just going to read them off my paper so I don't get them wrong. But there's a lyric in it that says, I'm a TED Talk, I'm saying too much, and you're Charlie Chaplin with your mouth shut. And I was really curious about this one because I'm a massive oversharer, especially when I'm in uncomfortable situations. And from that line, I'm curious, are you the same way?
Yes, I am. Oh my gosh, this song actually, my relationship with this person, actually one of my like fatal flaws with this friendship was like just oversharing, and like I just always, if I have a feeling or if I have something to say, as much as I want to be mysterious, I'm like the least mysterious person ever. If I have something to say, whether I like it or not, it's coming out. So yeah, unfortunately.
It's always the way. I saw like a TikTok once, and it was like, you know, those ones, and it's like, I always try to be mysterious, but and it's always like a girl on the street, like, drunk or laughing her head off or like whatever. I'm like, that's me. I always want to be like the one in the corner, but it's
because I feel like actors nowadays and like the cool actors, like they're all like got this element of like steez.
Yeah.
And like, or like the girl next door, like reading a book in the bar. And I just have never, I've always wanted that, but I just can't.
Sitting with like like the grapes of wrath, like with my, like, with your journal.
I'm uncultured and I'm deeply, deeply unmysterious and unserious.
Totally. Well, I mean, your character's like that in Heartbreak High, right? Like just kind of a bit more like forthcoming. But you weren't like that in high school yourself though, were you?
I would say I can't remember what the right order is, but I'm an introverted extrovert, or the other way around.
There's like a middle ground, like that I was reading about the other day. It's like nutrovert or something. I can't remember.
What?
Yeah. It's like you're part introvert, part extrovert.
That's
and you think you're somewhere in the middle.
So I was I wasn't like cool in the sense that like, I was really like, oh, this sounds bad, but I was pretty ugly in high school and like just...
I don't believe that.
No, I was a bit of like, I wasn't like the cool hot girl like who like smoked and did like I wasn't not saying that that's cool, but
no,
like,
I know what you mean.
I wasn't in that group, and I didn't have a lot going for me in terms of like steez or like sex appeal. I had none of that going for me, so I had to be funny. I was the funny one in the year.
Do you remember like trying to be fun, like did it come naturally? I mean, it was probably a while ago to like answer that question, but like, because I always wonder about that, like in high school, there's always those key people who are characters and they're funny and whatever, but like, I wonder if it's like you got to find your thing or your place, and like, was it?
That's interesting. Yeah. I've never thought deeply about it. I would say maybe culturally, my mum and my whole family, like we're Parsi, and so the whole family is very loud and extroverted and like hilarious. Like my mum's side of the family is ridiculous. Yeah. So I think definitely there's an element that maybe carried on to me. But out of my siblings, I've always been the most probably forthcoming, like outrageous one. I actually don't know. Maybe it was genetic.
Yeah, it's genetic. You got the funny bone.
I got
the funny bone. Yeah.
And also, I do think it's the element of like when you're in school, what you said, like you're trying to find your place. Yeah. I wanted people to like me somehow.
Totally. And then you're like, oh, I can make people laugh. Yeah. And that only makes them feel good, but it probably made you feel good in turn as well. You know?
Yeah. And I think I had really funny friends as well. And I think growing up, I was a big product of like the people I surrounded myself with. And so I think yeah, I think it worked to my credit that I had like hilarious friends around me.
Totally. The inspiration for Blame Me came from a real life like experience and a real life journey. Can you talk to me like as much as you want to share with me about that?
Oh, I feel really uncomfortable because I haven't released any songs. I'm just trying to think. I don't think I've released any songs that are relationship based before.
Yeah.
And so like actually like releasing a song about a person that exists is really weird. Like it's a weird feeling because I'm like, what if they see this interview?
Totally. Do
like,
you think they know it's about?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe, yes, I think
you haven't spoken
so.
to them about it specifically?
No, I haven't. I think, yeah. I think with music, as I'm learning, I think maybe if I'm writing about people, the route I need to take is just not disclosing who it is, not talking to
Totally.
I don't know if that's the right way to go about things, but I think I just need to let the art exist in isolation.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's avoidance.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Tune in.
True.
But this is about a friend of mine. And it's about, I guess it's just about catching I find it so interesting how you don't choose who you like catch feelings for, and you don't choose who you have a crush on, and like it's really annoying sometimes. Like it's just really like, I don't know. I think it's really unfair.
It is because you don't want to feel a certain way,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it is happening, and like I don't know, it's uncomfortable as well.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And then you end up feeling like all the residual feelings that come with that, like circumstantially you might feel like guilty or weird or like just like there's something wrong with you for like, you know, and I think I went through all of that nonsense with
But then you made a beautiful song out of it. So
I
guess,
did.
yeah.
I did. And like I was lucky that, you know, the person in question is a really understanding, chill. And like they're still, and hopefully will always be like one of my good friends.
Yeah.
So
was there a moment where you
Yeah.
like spoke about your feelings to them?
pass.
No, yeah, cool. I noticed also you have only like Eulogy and Blame Me on Spotify, but there's obviously more songs that you've worked on in the past.
Yeah.
What's the reasoning behind only having those two now online?
Oh, like why did I take my old songs off?
Yeah.
To be honest, mental health wise, I had a bit of a rough last like maybe not the last year, but the years before that when I was making music.
Yeah.
It was really tricky mental health years for me. And I didn't really know what kind of music I wanted to make. I didn't know what I was doing. I was really doubtful of everything I made. I just listened to everyone else in my life about what I should put out, and I never and I didn't trust my intuition. I didn't trust my instinct on things. So I think I really wanted to start from scratch.
Yeah.
And it was definitely for me. It was something, it wasn't really, sounds selfish, but it wasn't for anyone else. It was for me mentally to be like, okay, we're starting a new chapter, and this chapter is going to be me making my own decisions and me believing what I make, and it's everything I put out I'm going to like. Because I actually didn't really like some of the songs that I put out before, and I didn't like a lot of what I
Did you grow
made.
to not like them, like at the time when you first made them, or was it kind of always?
I think I grew. I think there's this annoying thing in the music industry sometimes where it's like there's a lot of waiting. I mean, now it's obviously there's more emphasis on output, so lots of people hate that. I kind of love that because I feel like it puts less pressure on everything and every move you make. But I think with the music industry, it's like you make this song and then you might not put it out for 6 months. And in my case, with a lot of those songs, it'd been a year since I'd written it. So obviously you grow out of things and you grow out of your past work and you're constantly, hopefully, improving at your craft. So if you're lucky, you look back at your old work and you cringe because you should, because hopefully you've improved.
Totally.
So it was just a case of that for me, and I felt like I'd outgrown it. And
you've given yourself a blank slate, and you just can kind of which that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's such a awesome thing to be able to give yourself.
Totally. And I felt I don't know, there was a certain level of autonomy that I practiced in taking them down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I actually was looking up, I was surprised to find that you're 26 now, right?
Yeah.
Which like shocked me. I thought,
Really?
Yeah, oh my God.
What do you think I
Like
was?
21 or something, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't,
Thanks.
yeah, of course. I was so shocked, and then it made me think like 26 is quite a long time having left high school and things. So what was it like being like 20? Well, I guess you were a bit younger on season 1, but like then going back into that mind frame of somebody being in high school, was that a hard thing to have to put yourself into?
You know what? I think what's interesting is it actually wasn't. It was the minute you kind of step foot into, because we shoot in an actual school, the minute you step foot into that high school, the dynamic of all the actors, like we're all good friends, it really does feel like high school to a certain degree. But I think playing young people, like there's a certain trap that people fall into, which is like, you've got to play young. But I think what young people have, especially nowadays, is like, they don't think they're young. They're not playing young. They're playing old. And they're also, like, I think the main difference is that smaller things have bigger stakes. Like everything, it's actually quite a joy to play a young person in that regard, because it's like, what obviously adds interest to a narrative is like the stakes of a situation. And I think what's so fun about playing a high schooler is that everything is so high stakes.
Yeah, right.
So I think that was the only difference for me, is just heightening the stakes for things that I probably wouldn't.
I love how you say that, like younger people are playing old. It's so true. Like you think that you've got it all figured out. Like, and I mean, even now, like I'm 32 and I'm like, I'm starting to figure it out. I'm like, I'm probably, when I'm 42, I'm going to look back on myself now and be like, you're a joker. Like, what do you mean? But it's so funny, like especially those formative years, like you really think like you're playing up. You are. I've never thought about it that way. It's so interesting.
And I think, I don't know, I think there's more tension in that as well as an actor than playing down and thinking you're incapable, like fighting for your limitations. Like I think that is a really nasty trap as an actor.
Yeah. So you obviously played like a very strong female character in Heartbreak High, and then your 2 singles have like very strong messaging towards the female experience. So like, what does it mean to you to like be a woman?
Yeah, that's really interesting. What does it mean to me to be a woman? I mean, look, I take great pride in being a woman. I think there's a certain, obviously, I'm speaking generally, but there's a certain emotional intelligence that I feel like we have as women, and there's a certain like magic, I don't know, 100%. In being a woman, and an intuition. Like I always like refer to like women's intuition. And I've actually never felt that more than right now in my life.
Totally.
But yeah, I really, I don't know. I'm just really proud to be a woman, and I love being a woman, and I don't know.
Have you listened to the new Charlie XCX album?
Yeah.
It's like that to me is like, and I think it's just so like, not that you can't be young and listen to that album, but I think it is very much directed to getting into the kind of late 20, early 30 era of your life, like lyrically as well. Like I've been sitting at home reading the lyrics and listening to the songs, and I think it really captures a lot of what it actually means to be a woman. Like it's funny, like, because I was thinking about asking you this question, and then I was thinking about what it naturally just means to myself as well. And there's, I don't know, I think it's like, we live in this, I'm so thankful to being a woman in this day and age, because we really are in this place of being like, women aren't each other's enemy, and like we all lift so much more of this time of lifting each other up, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like more than anything, girls have girls. Like at the end of the day, no matter what it is, no matter whose friend or side you are on.
Totally.
It's probably bad actually, but I will always have a girl. Like
100%,
always, even if it's my best friend is a guy.
It's
their girlfriend. I will always have the girl. And I also do think like, I don't know, it's interesting being a woman, especially as a performer and a musical artist. Like I would really worry about like aging and about time. And I feel like slowly, like now that we have more like autonomy over like putting out music ourselves, and Spotify, and there are more artists, and turnover rate is higher. I think it's really awesome to see that kind of age anxiety is slowly dwindling.
Yeah. Do you feel that the age anxiety is dwindling?
I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me getting older and finding joy in being older. But ever since I was 14, every birthday I would despise because I'd be like, I want to be a singer, and that's another year less. And the kids on Disney are 12, and I'm 14.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I just feel like nowadays I see more and more like older women just killing it, and the artists that I love are all over 30. Because
It's true.
you have enough time to perfect your craft, and
Totally.
I just think it's so cool. Like
It's very true. I know, because I mean, apart from like maybe like the Billie Eilishes of the world, who you look at her and I'm like, how
Prodigy.
are you?
Prodigy
What
though.
the fuck,
Like,
man? I know, of course. But like, you know, I look at her, I'm like, 21. I'm like, oh my God. But it's true. Like, I mean, I just said Charlie XCX, but like Taylor Swift, like there's so many women who are now entering their 30s, and it's also so amazing to see because it kind of reaffirms that idea of like, well, you can do anything, and there's no limit on time.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I would always like be really jealous of guys because I feel like for a long time it's been more chill for guys to be over 30, 40 and be musicians, and no one questions it.
No one.
Because like, you know,
Well, men get better looking as they get older. Like,
well,
whatever.
no one questions it.
No, totally.
But I feel like with women, it's like this thing of like you gotta get them out the womb, and then past 30, you're done.
Yeah.
But now I kind of slowly, I don't know, like with SZA and like Victoria Monet
Totally.
just winning her first Grammy, and like, it's just cool. Like I don't know, it's cool to see.
Yeah.
I feel less pressure in that regard now.
Yeah. Your character and like the whole show is built around like really strong friendship. So what's your friendship like in real life? Like do you have like a huge friendship circle?
You know, I've never felt my friendship circle more. I've just gone through a breakup, and it is a crazy time, but one of the best things to come out of it is that I just have realized, like, well, I knew before, but it just illuminates how incredible friends are. Like, just I'm dedicating my whole life to just putting all my energy into my friends because, I don't know, I just have the best friends in the world. I feel so lucky and so grateful. And I don't know, another thing that I just find is really cool, like, is making new friends, which is something that I never used to like. I know that sounds so rudimentary and like silly,
No,
but
it's not.
I feel like as an adult, getting into my adult years, I stopped like wanting to expand my friendship circle, and I stopped wanting to like meet new people and people from different like diasporas to me and different age groups to me. And now I'm in this, I don't know, phase of like just wanting to meet as many people from as many different like age brackets as possible, and like make as, you know, many friends that I can. I feel like
It's funny when you come to that realization of like being like, just because somebody may be 20 years older than me doesn't actually mean I can't develop a friendship with this person.
Totally.
Like I used to have like, it'd almost be like a, you know, parental sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then when you kind of realize that actually everybody's just like, it's like that whole thing of like your mum's living for the first time as well. Like everybody's living for the first time. We're all experiencing things for the first time. So you can learn off so many different people, ages, genders, whatever. Like it's,
Totally. And I feel like there's so much power. Like I've made a few like friends in their like 60s, 70s recently. And they're like my most interesting friends. Like I know that makes me sound like a crazy person.
No, I don't think
but
so.
like just making older friends is like the most awesome, extraordinary thing you can do as a person in your 20s, because they've lived through everything, and they've like, maybe not everything, but they like have so much perspective on what matters and what doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it's just priceless.
It's so true though. They can't, like you can, and they'll, I don't know, like say, like, I was talking to one of my mum's friends the other day actually, just about stuff that I was going through, and her perspective on it was so insightful and so positive.
Yeah.
Like just being like, it's all about, like, she told me this beautiful story about climbing up Mount Everest and like the little steps that it took, and you just got to take little steps, and it was just the way she explained things. I was like, wow, okay, like, cool, you know, and I probably may not have been able to receive that information from a friend of my own age. Or,
They're just so unbelievably insightful. I mean, you would be if you've like lived double the time that I've been alive, you know?
Totally.
Yeah, so that's my new thing.
Yeah. Walking down the street, there's just like elderly people. You're like,
Yeah. I have a dream to have a full, like, pensioner band. Like, I just tour
oh my God,
with,
that's
like,
cool.
a band that's, like, all over 70.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a story for another day.
I'm excited to see. Oh gosh, please come in with the like all of the pensioners.
Yeah.
I want to do an interview. That's going to be like exclusive for me.
That'll be
Yeah.
the exclusive no one asked for.
Yeah. If it's okay by you, you've been diagnosed with ADHD, right? Do you mind me asking you about this?
Yeah, of course.
What do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions people have with ADHD, and particularly for females?
That's interesting. I mean, the obvious one is like that to have ADHD, like you got to be super like chaotic and like disruptive and be the disruptive kid in the class. I think obviously like so much research has shown that it manifests way more covertly in women. For me, I will say I was very loud and the kind of the stereotype of what you would expect ADHD to be. But I know a lot of people with ADHD who like, it blows my mind when they tell me that they've got it. Because obviously there are 3 types of ADHD. I'm not a doctor on this, but this is what my doctor has told me. There are 3 types of ADHD. Mm-hmm. There's hyperactive, there is inattentive, and there's combination. Mm-hmm. I've got combination, but they're all very, different forms. Yeah. And the inattentive form especially can be very like, I don't know, hard to spot. It's just like you'll have to pick up on your symptoms.
Okay.
But yeah.
And you said as well in another interview, I don't know if this is because of ADHD, it was in the same sort of world where you were talking, but you said that you love the way that your brain works. And I was just wondering if you could like expand on that for me a little bit as to like why and how.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've always felt like a little, this sounds so main character syndrome of me, but I've always felt like a little bit different and I couldn't really pinpoint why. I would feel things like very intensely. Like when I was a kid, I'd have to like say, if we were giving away a couch, I would have to say goodbye and have a moment alone with the couch. Like I've always been very hyper emotional and very like affected by affected by things and super sensitive. And I think that's kind of allowed me to be more empathetic growing up and understand my friends and be able to be like a sounding board for other people, or like a really good sounding board for other people. And I don't know, I think there's a level of like empathy. I can't speak on behalf of everyone with ADHD, but just my ADHD has kind of allowed me to have this certain emotional intelligence. Yeah. And also this level of like, I don't know, obviously that comes with its hurdles where I like can't focus and I lose my way and I feel like I'm, before I got diagnosed, I thought I was just lazy. I didn't know I was like, why can I not get anything done? But on the flip side, the hyper-focus zones are like crazy. Like they're so great. And I feel like when I hit a point of hyper-focus, it just makes me so creative and so locked in. And one thing that I find is like a really great through line between music, songwriting and acting is that like when I'm doing good work, it's always when I'm in that like ADHD, hyper-focus, locked in zone, which, you don't need ADHD to lock into, but I think it's really helped me.
Totally. Yeah, like your art wouldn't be what it is maybe, and like everything if your brain wasn't the way that it was.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's allowed me to, have a kind of out the box thinking energy about me. I don't know.
Yeah, amazing.
Which I know a lot of people with ADHD can relate to too. So.
Cool. Yeah. I got a bowl of fortune cookies, viewer submitted questions. Give it your best go.
Oh, that felt lucky.
Did it?
I don't know why. Okay. I felt that.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel that?
Yeah. Everybody.
Oh. If you could instantly learn any skill, what would it be?
Yeah.
Oh, it would definitely be guitar.
Okay.
Because I'm practicing guitar at the moment. Another real annoying downside of ADHD is that I rarely stick to things. I get really excited about doing things and then I'm like, no. been trying to learn guitar since I was little, and I just keep dropping off the face of the earth with the practice.
So
But I would just love to be able to shred on a guitar.
100%. Same.
And everyone.
Oh my God, same.
Just be able to.
So much. I'd love to be able to play piano, to be honest. Piano's my favourite.
Yeah, piano's
I love it.
good.
Like Coldplay is my favourite band of all time. And
Oh, yeah.
when Chris Martin gets on that piano.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, piano, I feel like, is easier to learn. Though.
Yeah, 100%. We've got one up
gonna get
at our
dragged to
farm, and whenever I'm up there, I like get hyper fixated on the piano.
Yeah.
But then we've got, because my partner plays music, so we've got a keyboard at home. But for some reason, when I'm in Sydney, I can't do it. I have to be at the farm with nothing to do. And
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks
and
for having
spending
me.
time with me. And yeah, it's just been lovely to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of
Sorry for
course.
talking your ear off.
Oh my God, that's why I want you in here. You
Talk
gotta
underwater.
Yeah. That's okay. Be better if you were like silent. Sort of
Yeah.
weird.